Hello everyone, I'm Yvonne and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I just wanted to make a video about your creative process, my creative process, our creative process, and the importance of just nurturing that. So what is your creative process? What is a creative process? Is that part of your mind that just brings new things to life, that just forms new concepts, that is able to combine existing doors of knowledge to form newer doors of creative thought and knowledge, and is able to take into account all the hows, the whys, and the whats of already existing facets of wisdom in our day-to-day lives, and come up with something new. And apart from that, in moving forward with the process, it also takes action, right, beyond what it finds. So let's talk about it. So I think it's important to highlight the growing isolation, the stifling, and the neglect of one's creative process in pursuing conventional success, especially in your educational career and in your workplace. There are a lot of barriers that prevent you from nurturing this part of your mind, and I think it's really important that we highlight that. So for example, in school, teachers will just give you a series of definitions and expect you to just memorize it without giving you the hows and the whys, So you have a series of what's without the hows and the whys, and it does not in any way solidify your understanding, because you need those hows and whys to be the doors that you would open to get beyond and create new concepts, right? And I think it's also highly imperative, because as children we're super curious, we're always asking questions, we're asking our professor, we're asking our teachers, why this, why is 1 + 1 = 2, and they'll be like, oh yeah, just take it like that, and I'm like, okay. I think a perfect example of that would be, say you ask why 5 × 2 = 10, and there's so many ways of expressing this. You can use little dash sticks to show why 5 × 2 = 10. You can show how 5 × 2 = 10 using addition. There are so many ways to explain the hows and the whys, why we get to that, right? But you have a lot of situations where you're told to just that's what it is. It's just what it is, right? And a lot of teachers would also try to stifle your curiosity, and it was so sad, because it does not nurture that part of you that is curious, that part of you that wants to push against the doors of your mind to get those gears running, to ask those thought-provoking questions about the hows and the whys. So some teachers would just give you the whats and expect you to just take it like that. But thankfully I had a teacher in elementary school who would show you the whys and the hows, and they would guide you, and just having those two would just guide you to form a well-structured formula of what the concept is actually about. Your mind will automatically form the full package given the hows and the whys, right? But there are some who would shrink your curiosity and cut your questions down. I think as we grow as individuals, just having that part of our creative process being curtailed is so sad. It's honestly so sad, because it can be leveraged in so many ways, right? And I just want to highlight the importance of working on your creative process beyond the classroom, because a lot of the times you're not given the opportunity to actually employ creativity in whatever subject that you might be taking, right? Because the professor would want the teacher would want exact definitions. If you deviate, you're wrong, right? So instead of rather being able to convey the concept in a different way, in a different expressive manner, they want like the exact thing, and it's just quite sad. I mean, yeah, this is just like one aspect of it, but yeah. So like the importance, it's really, really important that you go beyond what you are taught in class and what you do at work to just nurture that part of yourself, because that is what will drive innovation. That's what drives innovation in today's society. Like being able to see in between the lines, being able to ask the hows and whys, and to take that, right, to form new things, to come up with new ideas. And that's what distinguishes you from the rest, you know, just having people who are able to iterate on already existing concepts to create new things. That is how society grows, and it's super, super important to remember that. Okay, so next I'm going to highlight a couple of observed relationships between your creative process or your creative interests, more particularly your creative interests or your passions, and your day-to-day life, so your work or school. So one would be where you're in a job or you're doing schoolwork that is not necessarily related in any way to your passions or your interests. So maybe you work in corporate but you love art right? And the second one would be two fields that are seemingly unrelated, so like math and crochet. Like I like math and I also like crocheting, but like somebody's gonna be like, what's the relationship between that, you know? Like how are they related? I don't know, you tell me. Right? Another one would be when the two are related, so your day-to-day life is related to your creative passion. So maybe you are super passionate about mechanical engineering, right? So you got a degree in mechanical engineering and now you're working in a research hospital, say in orthopedics. So right here you are combining your interests in mechanical engineering with your job, which is in research, right? And combining mechanical engineering concepts with medicine. So yeah. And the last one would be when the two of them are literally the same, and that's like peak fulfillment. I don't know, right? So maybe you have a chemist who works in chemistry, so somebody who loves chemistry and gets to work in chemistry, and that's like the perfect one. But yeah, so here we have like some individuals who are able to merge and harmonize their creative processes with their jobs, with their schoolwork, and whatever. And I think a quintessential example of individuals like that would be our one and only scientists, right? So let me just give a couple of examples of creative processes, right? So this book it's a combination of a lot of people's creative processes. You have like a lot of chemistry concepts, right? The Haber process. You have Marie Curie, you have Boltzmann in entropy. You have so many people, so many sciences, all of their creative processes coming together to form scientific law, right? So you have the codification of their creative processes in human literature and in human knowledge as a branch called science. And now we call this we herald information like this, and we've even made a big book, you know. Another example in electricity and magnetism in physics, right? So we have all of these beautiful concepts, literally people sitting down to think through all of these amazing laws and theories and to codify them according to the standards of human literature. And today we have their creative processes in a book. We have operating system concepts. Another person's or a combination of different creative processes. And now we have computers, we have different operating systems, we have, guys, this, another golden book, right? And then this, human anatomy and human physiology. Basically, humans trying to understand the creative process of God manifests in us. So we have all of these concepts and all of this knowledge, right? Somebody sitting down to understand, to observe, to create hypotheses, to corroborate those hypotheses with actual data. Crazy. And I even have another one here. That's databases with SQL. Databases in SQL. With MySQL, right? So somebody came up with a whole framework for databases just so we could perfectly curate all the data that we have in the world, I guess. But yeah, essentially what I'm trying to say is you have these individuals, right? And they were able to merge their creative passions with their day-to-day work, with their lives, and come up with all of these concepts, right? So you have the Taylor series. I don't even know who made that. Is it Mr. Taylor? I don't know. But yeah. We have the Fourier transform by Jean-Baptiste Joseph Fourier. We have Newton's laws of motions by who? Isaac Newton. We have Bohr's model of the atom. We have Heisenberg's equation. We have Planck's constant. Look at all these grandfathers. But honestly, I just want to illustrate what your creative process can become down the line when you nurture it, right? How I try to leverage my creative process in school, given the barriers that are there, obviously. And I mean, they're also there rightly so, because we also want standardization in education and all that, but it would more so come into play when I had to navigate uncharted knowledge territory. So like if there's a new question on my exam that I don't remember seeing in any textbook that was given to me by the professor or whatever, I just switch gears in my mind from like textbook mind to, okay, how have I experienced this information outside of the conventional data that has been given to me by the professor? How have I experienced it in my day-to-day life? And how can I relate that to what I've studied and be able to answer this question? So that's what I did. I did a lot of that. Especially, I think a perfect example would be when we had this class called ICT, and so I used to play a lot with computers when I was little back home. There was a time when we didn't have any games on our computer. Like, it was so boring at home. So we just click. We just be clicking, opening windows, checking out all the cool control panel. We just start button, whatever. Just like trying to find what's going on behind the scenes of the computer. Because there were no games on the computer. My mother had deleted all the games. But we still wanted to use it. So yeah, trying to find a way to hide all of our games. You know, all those little things that we used to do to hide from our parents just so we could keep using the computer a little longer. But yeah, and it just gave me more so of an experience of the knowledge that I was already gaining in class in a more practical sense, right? Because the thing is, in class you would definitely have the theory and you have a little bit of practice, but if you're not given the opportunity, or if you do not find opportunity to delve deeper into the concepts outside of the standardized way that is presented to you, it would be really difficult for you to think beyond what your professors have given to you, right? Yeah. So I will literally do that, switch gears, and bam, be able to answer the question correctly. But yeah, those were the high school days. Now I do not care about exams anymore. Thank God. But yeah, it's really important to just nurture your creative process so you're able to easily leverage it when the opportunity arises. Especially in situations where you're not necessarily allowed to unleash your full creative prowess, right? Yeah. So before we go, I just want to clarify the difference between your passion and your process, like the creative process, right? So the creative process is equal to your creative passion plus interconnectivity. So what do I mean by interconnectivity? Interconnectivity is being able to relate the concepts that you find across different fields, being able to see in between the lines and come up with new ideas. So like to take action on, right, what you see in between the lines. That is what I call the creative process, because it's not just about finding the idea. Everybody can think about an idea, right? It's about putting it into action. So putting it into action could be building an app, or if you're able to find a new concept, being able to relate it to the standardized methods of communication. So what we would have in science would be, in scientific literature, you would write a research paper, right? So just having that and nurturing that interconnectivity, being able to relate. Because I think another thing is when you're able to find relations between seemingly unrelated concepts, and everybody's like, whoa, that's a new idea, oh my gosh. And not only finding the idea, but also putting it into action. Always remember the action. You always have to take action on your idea. The more you train it, the better you would become at seeing. Or so it's like you're sharpening your vision, and the better you would get at seeing beyond the horizon, right? And that is where innovation comes. That is where the new, all these things. Now we're in a digital age. We have AI, we have all that, right? That is where all the new ideas and all the new things come from. So someone might ask, how does curiosity play into this? Well, if your creative process is a function of your passions and your ability to relate concepts in unseeming ways, that interconnectedness would be a function of your curiosity. So this expression describes how driven or motivated you are to learn something, to go beyond what you've learned and the way it was presented to you from your teacher's perspective, and to try to find a translation of that concept in another plane of knowledge, which would thereby solidify your understanding of said concept. So it's not just about the creative arts that we know of or what the phrase creative actually connotes in today's society. Music, drawing, painting, writing, whatever. But it's about nurturing your ingenuity regardless of the field you find yourself in. So in math, science, philosophy, physics, linguistics, etc. And so the question is, how do you know what to take action on to nurture it? How do you know what to learn, right? That is defined by what you're passionate about. That is your creative passion. So the process first involves learning. In your workplace, it could be more so about observing what others have done in the field, what work your colleagues are doing, taking notes, even if you initially don't understand what's going on, and asking questions. Then you work on your ability to convert concepts presented to you in a linear fashion into a structured topology in your mind that tells a story. And then link all created topologies in your brain together to form a well-connected and strengthened web of information, which would give you the foundation to construct new pockets of thought, which embody pre-existing concepts in a novel way. Personally, I work in research and I love research, so it's a plus for me. And I have the opportunity, the resources, and the support from colleagues and supervisors to work on and nurture my creative process as I go about my day, and it's been so rewarding. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to also remind future me to take action on her ideas, on the things that she thinks about. Because sometimes I think about something and I'm like, oh, nobody's gonna think that this is a big deal. But later on, you tell people, you're like, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. And I'm like, really? I did not know that. But yeah, this is also for future me. Future me, wherever you are right now, keep creating, okay? Keep nurturing yourself, keep nurturing your creative mind, keep discovering and rediscovering, yeah, I think that's it. Hit that like button, subscribe, do all that jazz, and see you in the next video. Bye.